Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Anime King 2. And yes, as you can see, brand new series. What if Naruto was in prison and sealed away for 18 years? Part 1. If you enjoyed this and you want to see part 2, you already know what to do guys. Go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support guys. And also, link will be down in the description if you want to check it out for yourself to enjoy. And also guys, stay tuned for the results coming your way over Anime King and Anime King 3. Yes, you heard that correctly. I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what you find every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning to talk back to all of you, so yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. Prisoner number AK 786273. Prisoner name Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Date of birth October 10th. Age 30 years old. Blood type B. Crime classified. Sentence 100 years for good behavior, 200 years standard. Note from the 6th Hokage of Konoha. Parole at earliest possible chance. Notes on the prisoner. Prisoner is known for extreme violence when bothered. Couple with a Kyuubi or Kurama. As the prisoner referred to it, the prisoner is to be approach with extreme caution. Several hidden stone prisoners tried to attack the prisoner while their chakra was unleashed, and the prisoner was not. His exact words were, his prison cell needed a fresh red paint. Bodies still haven't been fully recovered. Also, mention the Kyuubi as anything but Kurama result in violent reactions on prisoner. It should be noted when anyone call the beast the Kyuubi and not Kurama, the prisoner draws upon the Kyuubi's chakra, even with the heavy suppression seals. When the prisoner first arrived at age 12, he broke free from his escorts and took on Nidori Katsuki. It took 1 minute for the prisoner to be restrained, but Nidori was already dead. Redirect to the medical file for more details on Nidori. It should also be known that Nidori was the boss of most of the prisoner inmates. He used his size and reputation from the 3rd Great Ninja War to bully inmates, and those who crossed him was killed. Psychological profile. The prisoner is calm, mostly stay to himself, away from the general population. So long as no one pressed his boundaries, he is shown to be one of the best inmates. Strangely, the prisoner showed no interest to be paroled, choosing to skip parole hearing at all times, to make sure that he is not given a parole. During his mandatory day when he is allowed chakra, he is placed into solitary confinement and usually summoned a toad named Kamikichi for conversation. It should be noted that during this time, the prisoner used his influence to get snacks for the toad. The prisoner also used his time to test several high-level seals which are patented and sold within Konoha. The prisoner is the richest known inmate. The prisoner also uses time to test various ninjutsu, which he was able to learn because of good behavior. When questioned how he's able to get so much done in such a short amount of time, he answered the question with 2 words: shadow clones. The woman closed the folder on the prisoner with a deep sigh. Her chest rised and fallen as she couldn't read anymore. Tears formed in her pale, lavender eyes. A black cloak hung over her, hiding her rather developed figure. A pair of snug blue pants. As her long hair flowed down her back, a Konoha headband was hung around her neck. Uchiha-sama One of the guards asked, making the woman look up. I have the prisoner you requested. Bring him to me, please. And I'd rather you not call me that, the woman said. I will endeavor to remember that. Forgive me, the guard said. As the guard left, another set walked in, 6 in all. Between them was a large, blond man, which the woman hasn't seen in 18 years. He was broad-shouldered, standing at 6 feet 2, his body covered in muscles from exercising. Not weightlifting as many prisoners did. Instead, they were from hard work. Chains encircled his hands and his waist, leading down towards his feet. It was rather surprising that he could still virtually move. The woman's eyes went to his hands, scarred and roughed up, no doubt from training exercises. The blonde was led over to a chair, and was sat in it. As the guards looked towards her for confirmation, she gave it, her eyes still locked on the blonde. The guards then left. They did not want to stare on the prisoner for any longer. His mere presence wanted to make her run. She could see what would pass as tattoos for most was ceiling, carved into his skin, many of them that were not standard for the prison. As his cerulean eyes looked her over, it then rested on her left hand, where there was a golden ring. Hyuga-sama, he said. His voice, a reminder of a predator, about to strike on its prey. Please, don't call me that. I never want to hear that from you, of all people. Please, she said. The blonde scowled as he leaned back, placing both hands on the table. Very well, Hinata-sama. There was a tightness in his voice. It irked her heart as she spoke. Prisoner, 7862, 73, off Wing A, Cell Block K, Maximum Security Prison. You are Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, correct, she said in a formal tone. I am, said Naruto. He had done this several times before, but never with Hinata. He was still trying to figure out why she was here. On behalf of the 6th Hokage of Konoha, I'm here to acquire services for Konoha. She produced several more folders. As she placed them on the table, Zetsu, made from the cell of Hoshirama Senju by Madara Uchiha. There is an unknown number of these. We have yet to find the brain that will completely wipe them out. If we can find and kill him, the rest will be unorganized and easy to kill. Naruto tilted his head as he looked towards the folder. Roku. Can't be that crippled Danzo. He should have kicked the bucket by now. So, who is the Roku? He asked. Kakashi Hatake, your sensei. Naruto was surprised, briefly, as she pulled the second folder and slid it forward. Madara Uchiha kept himself alive by cancelling the Edo-Tensei technique that Kabuto used to revive him. He has been around for about 15 years now. Naruto tilted as he looked towards the face of Madara. Even more confusing was that Madara had the Rinnegan. Naruto hoped there was an explanation to that one later, but at the moment he didn't really care, as he looked towards her hand. Who did you marry? He said. Naruto-kun, she said. Please don't ask it of me. As she clutched their hands together. Who? Said Naruto, as he looked at her. She took a breath in and a breath out. Itachi Uchiha. 17 years ago he was pardoned of all crimes when the truth came out about the Uchiha rebellion. Shortly after, his brother, Sasuke Uchiha, ran away from Konoha, once more unable to handle the fact that Itachi is a hero. I went to Itachi and I requested to become one of his wives. She said, looking down, closing her eyes. I didn't want another man to touch me. No one but you, Naruto-kun. And Itachi is willing to give me that. He hasn't touched me ever. Tsunade-sama married us 14 years ago, when I was removed from my position as heiress, when I was nearly sealed away into the branch house. As Naruto leaned back a bit, the ring made a bit more sense now, and he was glad to see her forehead clean of any ugly seals. How did you manage to keep from being found out? While Shizune was head of the hospital, she forged a file saying I was sterile and unable to bear any children for Itachi. Sakura-san has continued this lie as she took over as the head of the hospital. Hinata said a bit of hope, hoping that Naruto wouldn't judge her for what she had to do. She then continued, Sasuke Uchiha one of the two survivors of Itachi Clinton of the Uchiha clan. He ran away and has been affiliated with several members, such as the Akatsuki and Orochimaru, last spotted 5 years ago, considered to be a high A rank, low S rank shinobi. As Naruto looked down towards the shifted eyes of the person who he had considered a brother for a long while, Naruto snorted as he leaned back in his chair. "These are Konoha problems. They're not mine. What's in it for me?" he said, as he looked towards a woman who had plagued his thoughts for years. "Your services are required. You will be reinstated to a proper rank after a test that is administered by the 6th Hokage. You will also be absolved of all crimes against Konoha up to the date of the defeat of all of Konoha enemies. You will be given a plot of land and a house that rests upon it, and you will be given a chance to start your own clan if you wish so." Hinata said in a diplomatic tone as she rests both hands on the table. She wished that she could activate her Byakugan, but there were so much seals in the room to keep Naruto power in check. They also tamper with her abilities. She could still channel chakra to her fingertips to put him down if she have to. "You are the container to the Kyuubi, Kurama, and as such you're the shield to Konoha. Please, Naruto-kun," she said, as Naruto laughed, shaking his head. "I willingly let myself be captured, sealed up, trialed, and imprisoned for an indefinite amount of time." He brought his hands up and dropped them on the table, shattering the seals. "What makes you think I couldn't leave if I so choose?" Hinata pulled out another folder as she tossed it on top of every other one. "Obito Uchiha, the masked man of the Akatsuki, and the cause of Kurama attack 30 years ago. His action killed your parents, forced you to bear a burden so soon in life. He was the reason why you were hated for 12 years without knowing about your burden. He's the ringleader of the group." As Naruto picked up the folder, not believing his eyes or ears, Obito was the one that caused Kurama to be sealed inside of him. But Obito words, the words that Kakashi had taught Team 7 all those years ago, were words that he lived by. Obito, though, had abandoned not only his comrades but his sensei. As Naruto felt his blood, his rage boiling, Hinata was afraid as she saw the anger surfacing. It was a lot, as she was afraid for her life at that moment. She had no idea how Naruto had gotten so strong or dangerous, but there was one thing that she was sure about. When it comes towards their graduation team and Guy's team, she wasn't sure anyone could defeat him. "I expect I'll be out by the end of the day," said Naruto as he indirectly agreed to the bargain. Revenge sounded so sweet to him. He would deliver Obito's other eye to Kakashi. "Have the rest of our group, when you can at least, meet us outside the prison. I want to see how much they have changed." As Naruto stood up and left the room, Hinata looked up to the door, both with hope and fear. Naruto had changed drastically, but what could she honestly expect? It had been close to 20 years since he has been in prison. He had not offered a word of resistance. He had not fight back. You could hardly believe that it was he that did that crime 18 years ago, but he had admitted to it in rather gruesome details. And he was not under a genjutsu, not a subtle one or otherwise. Inoichi had made sure to check everything to make sure that Naruto wasn't being controlled. No one could look at him without thinking a few words, and the words that came to mind was monster, demon, butcher. As Naruto headed back to his cell, the guards were smart enough not to even touch him. Once there, he stripped out of his ragged prison clothes as he took a shower. Once he was done and stepped out with a towel around his waist as he looked into the mirror, he saw himself more feral with red eyes. "You said you would no longer be their puppet, Naruto." The other Naruto in the mirror, who was Kurama, told him. "And I won't be their puppet," said Naruto, as he grabbed his razor and started to shave off the facial hair that gained on his face. "Yet they come running to you, needing our power, and you say yes to the pretty little girl. She betrayed you, Naruto. She married someone else." "You think I don't know that," said Naruto, as he cut himself, but it instantly healed. "However, my decisions are my own. My actions are my own. She has nothing to do with this." The masked man, Obito. He, on the other hand, a wicked grin came on Naruto's face. "I will enjoy ending him. He killed my parents, and I will end him for that." "No, Naruto, I killed your parents. You know this. I told you the stories dozens of times while you were locked in solitary confinement. I did it with pride and I will do it again. You have an idea of what it's like to be locked away, but my confinement will always be worse. I thought you would be all for getting some revenge. Not vengeance, revenge. But a more suitable and darker action, said Naruto. I am more concerned how easily you agreed to such a plan. They're making you out to be a puppet, and you're going along with it. They're trying to put a leash around your neck. And with who we are and what we have done, it will only get shorter and shorter. Then I will end them, said Naruto. Simple as that. As he finishes shaving, as he started to get dressed. Standard orange jumpsuit. He cut the sleeves of the jumpsuit. As he writes storage seals on the sleeve, he sealed away all the taijutsu and ninjutsu scrolls that Jiraiya and Kakashi had snuck in for him. In the other, he sealed away all of the pictures, information scrolls and books that he got from the other two. He then used a shiv to slice in his palm, wincing a bit as he carved a seal into his very skin. He then sealed away the two sleeves. It was the safest place he could think of. As he picked up a string and focused chakra into it to make it strong. As he tied his hair back, a near unbreakable string by any means. His hair wouldn't be getting loose anytime soon. He regarded himself in the mirror one last time, as he looked at his older face. Prison has taken its toll on him. He had lines on his face where he had frowned, scowled too long. When the business with Obito was done, he knew that he was going to be coming back. As Naruto turned as he was escorted out, some of the prisoners whispered as they accused him behind his back as he hummed joyfully. The guards started to shiver a bit at the tone that he was making. They know that tone. It was when he was planning something downright evil. As he arrived at the entrance, he saw Hinata. His sadistic grin did not falter as he kept on humming. As she shivered a bit, he passed her and threw the door open. For the first time in 18 long years, the guards backed into the prison. Knowing where the butcher was not, they would be safe. As Naruto glanced towards the assembled group as Hinata was behind him, there is 5 missing. Sasuke's a missing Nin. So where is Lee, Neji, Kiba, Shikamaru? A woman with brown hair cut to the middle of her back stepped forward, standard Jonin uniform, as she had a large scroll on her back. As Naruto took note of the wedding band on her right hand, a widow, Lee, is an unofficial special Jonin. He is one of the Hokage's bodyguards and Anfu. As Naruto looked towards the woman, "Thanks, Tenten," he said. A heavier set man stepped forward as Naruto looked him in the eyes. Usually, he didn't have someone of equal height to look forward to. Crimson armor, and he also had a spear in his hand. As Naruto noticed a wedding band on his hand, Choji got big. Shika made it the Jonin commander, like his father before him. He is currently in a meeting with Hokage-sama at the moment. Next to speak up was a lean man, as he was wearing a black trench coat with a hood over his head and a strange set of glasses over his eyes. It was Shino. Kiba-san is out of the village, on a mission with his team at the moment. I would recommend not provoking him. When returning, Naruto-san, Kiba-san has been through a trying time, and the wound is still fresh. Hinata spoke up. Akamaru died protecting him, Naruto-kan, she said. It took Choji-kan, Shino-kan, and me all to get him and Akamaru body out of there. As Naruto spoke next, he and his family has my condolences. While Naruto never particularly get along with Kiba, he understood the importance of their dogs to the Inuzuka members. You still haven't said anything about Neji. Hinata and Tenten looked down. Neji, he died. He was most vocal when I was going to be branded with a cagebark seal. One of the elders at the time, he used a seal on Neji until he died. As Naruto remember when he pulled that stick from Neji's ass, showed him about his stupid fate. He looked towards Hinata and Tenten. You both have my condolences, he said. It was easy to tell why Tenten had a ring on her right hand now. So, said Naruto, get me up to speed. Tell me who is where, and ranks and relationships. As Naruto had a simple plan after he just got out. First, go eat some ramen. Second, get a good drink. And then, get laid. Simple plan. But he didn't want to get in the pants of anyone that was taken. Asuma sensei died years ago. Choji says he bowed his head to his former sensei. I'm the current leader of the Akamichi clan. So, I'm a Jonin, and Ino-chan is my wife. As Naruto glanced towards the woman in the purple. All in all, she made for a rather hot wife for Choji. I am the current head of the Yamanaka clan, although it was difficult to keep my position. Being Choji's conwife, she said. Sakura was next to step up. Her hair had grown out to the middle of her back. She was wearing a pink vest with a pair of jonin pants. Her eyes also looked harder and better. She wasn't a weak fangirl from 18 years ago. I'm the head of the hospital. Tsunade-sama taught me everything that she knew, including her super strength technique. I'm seeing a civilian boy right now. No doubt you heard about Kakashi-sensei's position. He's also married to Anko. Naruto was tempted to snort. Most likely Sakura had intimidated the boy with her strength. I too am a jonin, current head of the Aburame clan. Kurenai-sensei is Asuma's widow, and the mother of their child. She's retired, Shino said. I am a jonin, and as you guessed, Nejikan widow. I also took over the shop for my dad. Guy-sensei got his legs hurt about 10 years ago, and he's been medically discharged, said Tenten. Naruto nodded. I need a Kizurigama, he said. As he addressed Tenten, I want it made, fully, from the chakra conductive material. Tenten blinked as she wondered why Naruto needed a weapon like that. On second thought, she decided not to ask. She had seen photos of what he had done. How heavy do you want it? As heavy as you can make it, also. Don't put any seals in it. I have a few ideas about that myself, and I want a clean workshop. Tenten nodded as she bowed a bit. Excuse me then, she said, as she took off. She's afraid, said Naruto. As are the rest of you. As he looked towards all of them, their bodies stiffened uncomfortably. Don't be ashamed, he said, with a rather sadistic smile. I want all of you to be afraid. As Sakura spoke up, Naruto, we just want to know why you did that. All those years ago, why they... As Naruto shot her a glare, they deserve it. End of story. Not up for discussion. What I did was between me, them, and Tsunade-bachan. I heard she died, so I doubt you get any information out of her. And well, you won't get information out of me. Now, if you excuse me, I'm hungry. And I remember a certain ramen stand that will quell my stomach, he said. As Naruto left the group as he headed for Konoha, of course he got some rather distrustful looks because of his appearance. It was good. He wanted them to be afraid. To hell with your acknowledgement. He wanted fear. As Naruto stopped at a bank and checked on his account, he had billions of Ryu. Pure and simple, he was the richest son of a bitch in Konoha. Jiraiya assets were his, since his godfather was dead. And Naruto continued the Ichi series, had the successful books, the seals while he made in prison, and several key investments that all gave you a man that was worth more money than he could ever count. While in prison, he had nothing but time. Despite your thoughts, he always had his chakra. With several clones reading up about business, he quickly learned the ins and outs of being a good businessman. He invested everything he thought was a good worth venture, and he always got double his money back. The second thing he invested into was bonds. Konoha need to make money after all, and they offer bonds. They also got a nice bit of income from the daimyo, but to be honest, bonds was how Konoha made their money. Bonds gave the village money to invest in programs or deal with war. Being a ninja villages, bond were always being sold, so the civilians could prosper as well, and the village would survive. As Naruto had bought hundreds of bonds, he bought so many in fact that he had to come to the person to talk to him. He was there in his playground as he swayed things to his favor, and he offered them several seals, several important seals for Konoha, and they were all made from his prison cell. As Naruto liked money a lot, plain and simple. As Naruto paused when he saw the unfamiliar building where the ramen stand used to be, as he went towards the door. As he opened it, he saw a full restaurant with several waiters and waitresses moving about. It seems Ichioku ramen had boomed over the years. As Naruto moved to take his seat at the bar, the original bar from the lettuce stand, but they had extended it. It was a nice touch though to keep the original bar, to show that they had their humble roots. As Naruto looked up towards the board that had pictures hung up, despite his current reputation and his nickname in the village, Toki Nayama had kept his picture up when he was in his younger days, as Aruka was also in there. As Naruto was scarfing down bowls of ramens, it brought a smile to his face, a real one, that he hadn't had in a very long time. Excuse me, sir, as Naruto looked up towards a man. He seemed to be in his late teens. Can I take your order? Is Ayam or Toki here? The man paused. Old man Toki retire. He comes in every now and then, but most time it is Ayam here. Would you like me to go and get her? It would be appreciated. Tell her that her number one customer has returned. After 18 years, she will understand. The waiter walked off as he grabbed the menu, as Naruto flipped it over, going through the pages. Naruto! A female voice shouted, and he was soon captured in a hug from behind. As Naruto turned to see the long brown hair, as he looked down, Ayam had grown up as well. He stroked her back a bit as he held her with one arm. She had filled out nicely, and her face looked a bit older. She brushed her hair behind her ears, as Naruto saw that she had made it grown out quite a bit. How have you been, Naruto-kun, she said, as she gave him a bright smile, one that he was happy to see. Naruto was a monster, a demon, a butcher, but for his precious people, like Ayam, he could be human. Too bad the list of his precious people was incredibly small at the moment. I'm alive and I'm rich, and I want some good ramen I haven't had in years. I'm also starving, so expect me to eat huge quantities again. Ayam chuckled as she moved into the kitchen, as she put on her apron and tied up her hair and placed on the hair net. As she got her pen and paper ready. So what can I get for you, Naruto-kun, she said. 10 bowls of beef, 5 bowls of chicken, and 5 bowls of shrimp to start. As Naruto's stomach grumbled at the coming offering, as people that overheard him was stunned. As one guy beside him asked, "Can you really eat all of that?" "Never mind, paying for it," the man said. As Naruto chuckled as he pointed towards the photos. "Who do you think is in all of these?" he said. "As for paying, I can probably buy everyone a ramen meal, and it wouldn't put a dent in my wallet." As Ayam spoke up to her employees. "Alright," she said, "we have a hungry customer here. Let's get to it." As Naruto devoured bowl of ramen, Kurama broke down the ramen into energy and stored it away into various seals. He left enough for Naruto to feel full, but they were storing the chakra into seals for Naruto to go Uchiha hunting. As Naruto stretched after devouring a large quantity. "I'll see you later, Ayam-chan," he said. "Keep the change," as he left. As he was now going to get laid. It wasn't hard really. Konoha had a red light district like most cities had. It wasn't hard to find someone who had no clue who he was, and make a bet with her, and then show off his incredible stamina. He didn't have to pay because of the bet, and he didn't got anything because Kurama wouldn't allow it. Certain disease and viruses can't affect him one bit. A little a week passed as Naruto integrated into his father's home, cleaning and getting groceries back into the cupboards. He also got his Kizarigama blade. It had proven to be really heavy. He had gave Tenten a smirk as he enjoyed the feel of the weighted weapon. As he was now walking to the village again, when he ran into Kiba. "Hey Naruto, that you?" The voice was a bit deeper, as Naruto turned to see Kiba in a Jonin outfit, with 3 Chonins following behind him. As Naruto paused to see that Kiba had the entire team of Inazaka. "Hey Mutt," said Naruto. "It's been a while, huh?" As they both shook hands, and Naruto was pleased that he stopped smelling so bad over the years. He must have learned how to use a shower. "Yeah, it has. Prison has been good to you apparently," Kiba said, with a smirk. "Yeah, it was good for me. It taught me order, and how to make a shit ton of money." As he looked over the 3 Chonins. "These are brats." Kiba looked back. "Oh yeah, they're my brats," he said. "I trained them to be part tracking and part assault." All 3 want to enter Anvu, but unfortunately in Anvu, they can't have their dogs, so I'm making them do mission without them. As the shortest girl spoke up, "Sensei, why does this man smell like a fox?" As Naruto smirked, I hold the Kyuubi, Kurama, within my stomach. As Naruto unzipped his jacket, as he channeled chakra as he showed off the seal. But it wasn't the only one, but it was the biggest though. The 3 Chonins took a step back, as Naruto laughed. As Naruto then zipped back his shirt up, as he turned towards Kiba. "Sorry to hear about Akamaru." Kiba looked down. "Yeah, not one of the better moments of my life," he said. "I don't mean to force it on you, but I started a fundraiser to try and get more vets to train in Akamaru's memory. Do you think you can?" "Yeah, sure," said Naruto. "I like the puppy anyways. He had a bigger bite than you did." As Naruto pulled his checkbook out and a pen. To Kiba Inazaka, pay 750 million Ryu for his fundraiser to get vets trained. As Naruto signed the check, the 3 Chonins were shocked as he looked between their shocked sensei and Naruto. One of the boys spoke up. "Are you trying to make fun of our sensei?" As Naruto laughed. "You think I don't have the money?" he said. "Tell me, when they gave you those vets, they were a bit big, weren't they?" The 3 of them nodded. "And all they told you to do was channel some chakra into it, right?" They nodded once again, and they instantly fit to your body perfectly. without any flaws, right? 3 more nods he received. And every time they get damaged, you channel chakra into it, and they repair themselves, right? As the 3 of them nodded, well, I made the seals that do it. Every time a tune invest is made, the seals are put into it, and I get a bit of money. As Naruto pulled out the orange book, and I happen to be the sole owner of this entire series, including the movie, said Naruto. Kiba pat his vest. Hey, that's mine, as he looked towards the book that Naruto's holding. Do any of you know what it is, said Naruto. He was amused and the female slightly blushed as she raised her hand. I've been in prison for 18 years, Brett. Writing and making fine investments. The money has been piling up. That was my good deed, said Naruto as he looked towards Kiba for the past 18 years. As Naruto then turned to walk away, Kiba turned towards his students. Never piss him off ever. Don't challenge him either. Even if any of you make it to the position of clan head, don't screw with him. He would stomp you all into the ground and make it look easy. But Sensei, our teamwork is worth shit against him, Kiba said. He can summon an army for each of you. Can you imagine fighting an army of Kage 11 ninjas at once? As that shut his team up, he had to make them understand so they wouldn't do anything stupid. With that, Naruto made his way towards the tower to get part of the meeting that was taking place at the moment. Meetings took place every Friday to talk about boring garbage. As Naruto approached the 2 envoys at the door, well, the 2 visible envoys, there was at least another half dozen around him. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, the Butcher of Konoha, here to see the village council. Naruto said rather simply, as one of the envoys slipped inside. He could sense a fear from the other 7 envoys because he knew he could kill them all if he so wished. The envoy came back rather quickly as he ushered Naruto in. As Naruto stepped inside and looked around, he noticed Kakashi dressed in Hokage robes as it amused Naruto. There was a few shinobis in the room as well, more than what was there for his last village meeting when he was here 18 years ago. Though the clan representatives surprised him. Shikaku-sama, Inuichi-sama, Choza-sama, Shiba-sama, Tatsumi-sama, Hayashi-sama. I was told that there were new clan heads. As Shiba spoke up, we found it most logical to give our students the positions. However, to release them from the duties of the council meetings that we take part in until this war is over. For the forces of Konoha, they were needed to train our other clansmen. Attending these meetings was something that we were able to do to allow them to train. As Naruto nodded as he turned his head towards the civilian council, they looked ready to piss themselves. It was understanding. As Naruto turned to the others that were there, who were never there before, in his last council meeting, you 3 have a faded scent of seawater on you. So I take it that you're the representative for the survivors from Kira Annihilation 5 years ago. A beautiful redhead, seemed to be in her late 40s, spoke up. You will be correct. I am Terumi Mei, my associates Ayo and Kochiro. As she motioned to the 2 men behind her, as Naruto smirked. So the 5th Mizukage did survive. Rumors of your beauty reached me in prison. I have to say, they didn't do you any justice. He looked away from her blush as he looked towards the 6th Hokage. Yo, Kakashi, got lost on the road of life, Naruto. We were expecting you to be here last week. As Naruto's face started to twitch, the shinobi side and the civilian side watched him. As his face started to twitch, his hands started to twitch. He dropped on his butt as he started to laugh, clutching his side. It was too much. It took him a while to sober up as he moved towards Kakashi. Come here, Sensei, said Naruto as he hugged the man. As he broke apart. You've been saving that one for a while, weren't you? Said Naruto as he wiped away the tear. Kakashi gave a eye smile. What can I say? Those that really know me are rather amused by it when I asked it, he said. Best dad joke I heard in 18 years, said Naruto. As Naruto made his way towards the chair and sat down, as he leaned back and faced the council. So, let's get down to business, he said. I have demands to be met. How dare you make a merchant on the civilian side start to speak, until a weighted chain shot past his face, blasting the wall. As Naruto's hand was still outstretched from where he threw the weight of the Hisarigama at the fat man. You don't speak to me like you're better than me, said Naruto, as his eyes flashed red dangerously. You have no idea what the hell I've been through, the blood I've shed for the name of this village. If anything, you should be kissing the ground I walk on, and groveling at my feet. As Naruto yanked on the chain, as he brought the weight back. My demands are not negotiable, period. End of story, said Naruto. Kakashi spoke up. Naruto, Let us hear your demands first before we agree to any of them. I remember Hinata Uchiha telling me that she told you about the offer that we made for your release. As Naruto focused on his sensei's eyes to turn back to normal, I suppose it is fair that you hear all of my demands first. First, I am to be paid every 30 days after this date for a S-class, long-term, mission pay, non-negotiable. He could see a few of them nod their head. It was understandable considering that it was a long-term S-rank for real. When I kill my objective after Sakura Haruno has examined it, I will receive a bonus of an A-rank mission pay as well as a bounty that is on said head. There were a few grumbles, especially from the greedy merchants, but they did not disagree. Kakashi even wrote it down. As he spoke, Naruto, is there a way that we can convince you to go for a B-rank mission bonus instead? Fine, said Naruto, on their one condition. Sasuke Uchiha will be considered a S-ranked Nin, and such is bounty will reflect this. Condition number 2. The village will pay for all of my supplies, including the bill on Hokage-sama decks for the Kazuragama from the Higurashi weapon shop. Food supplies while inside the village are excluded, but ninja supplies and traveling supplies are included. Kakashi looked towards the bill. It came to his desk 2 days ago and it was steep. You're not going to let this one be negotiable, are you? He said. I can pay the bill myself, if the Hokage can still beat me in a spar. Kakashi winced. He was not looking forward to fight Naruto, especially with the Kizurigama. But he is expected to do it if he wants his village to have any sort of treasury left. Okay, I'll do it. Later though. Give me some time to train up a bit. Remember, Kakashi-sensei, reenacting scenes from my books with Uncle isn't considered training. As Naruto slid that jab in, seeing his sensei blush a bit in embarrassment, he couldn't help it. Are there any more demands, Naruto-kun? As Naruto's gaze turned towards Itachi, who sat there rather calmly. On one hand, Naruto didn't have a problem with him. On the other hand, he married Hinata. But as Naruto remembered the pleading tone in Hinata's voice, Itachi had helped her. Of course, I have a few more. I am to be considered a hired mercenary. I am not going to be reinstated as a shinobi. I will not be taking orders from anyone in this room, with the exception of Hokage-sama. I will gladly take consideration advice, but I will not be controlled. I am free to do as I please now. All of my crimes, up to I eliminate Zetsu, Uchiha Sasuke, Uchiha Madara, and Obito Uchiha, are to be pardoned. No ifs or buts. When all is said and done, I'm going back to my 8 by 10 cell, where I'll be living out the rest of my life in peace and quiet. His demands were not that bad. No Kinjutsu from the Forbidden Scroll, Naruto, Kakashi asked. As Naruto snorted, I already have what I want, Sensei, he said. And status, said Kakashi. Why bother, said Naruto. As of now, I'm a free man. But I'm gonna go back to my cell, live out in peace and quiet, said Naruto. One of the merchants spoke up. I say that you are to have a child. So, when you are old, the Kyuubi can be sealed inside of it. Denied, said Naruto. The merchant spoke up, as that was a bad thing to do. As Naruto fired his weapon once again, as he ripped a chunk off the man's ear. Denied, Naruto said. You people came to me. Most of these problems are Konoha problems. I solved my problems 18 years ago. The only reason I'm doing this is so I can get my hands on Obito Uchiha. You dumbasses should have killed Sasuke Uchiha 16 years ago, instead of attempting another retrieval mission, and you should have watched the remains of Madara Uchiha, given that several envoys watch. Hiruzen facing off against Orochimaru with Edo Tensei's years ago. Did no one thought he would get Uchiha Madara, the man who was able to fight on par with the first Hokage, said Naruto, as he shook his head. So these are Konoha problems. Konoha screwed up, and now it have 4 S-ranked ninjas who want to destroy it. 4 that went to ground 5 years ago, after the destructions of the Stone and Kiri. Now it's up to me to track their asses down and kill each of them. As Naruto pulled on the chain as he drew it back once more. I could very well tell you to kiss my ass and go back to my cell. I will not force my burden on an innocent child. Let this village abuse it and turn it into a weapon. I will be cram my last container After I'm gone, he will roam free in the elemental nation, because only an Uzumaki child can contain his power. As Naruto turned and walked out, he wasn't so childish to slam the door behind him, but he made his point, plain and simple. Naruto can't wait. As Naruto turned to see Itachi catching up with him. Itachi, he said, as the Uchiha walked side by side with him. Kisame and I left the Akatsuki 18 years ago after your little event. We came back to Konoha, so he's around. Obito has been unpleasant, because you fell off the grid when you went to prison. You were kept off every unofficial channel, and every official ones, with the help of Tsunade and Jiraiya. As Naruto nodded, seems he owed Tsunade and Jiraiya a drink when he got to the afterlife. I doubt this is the only thing you want to talk to me about, so spill it. 2 things. 1. I wish to fight you after you're done with Hokage-sama, Itachi said. As Naruto thought about it, fighting Itachi might be fun. Why don't you fight alongside Kakashi-sensei? Itachi nodded as he understood. It wasn't confidence on Naruto's part. As he saw the blonde patching his weapon, he was gonna use it in a rather dangerous way. Second, Hinata-san misses you. As Itachi spoke once again, please Naruto listen. She has always loved you, plain and simple. And we have become good friends over the last few years. I wish for her to be happy, and that happiness can only be found with you. Talk with her, dance with her, eat with her. I don't care what you do with her. But she's happiest on remembering fond moments of things that you've done. More than often I've heard her crying herself to sleep over a stuffed orange fox. It didn't take a genius to figure out what Itachi was trying to say. I can't do anything like that with her, said Naruto. She's married. To you nonetheless. We could get a divorce, said Itachi. I'm not the same man anymore, Itachi, said Naruto. As he walked away, Itachi could only watch a blonde walk off, as he shook his head. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want to see the next part to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, stay tuned for the brand new episodes coming over on Anime King and Anime King 3. If you're new, yes, indeed I have 3 channels. Anime King, Anime King 2, and Anime King 3, which I post 45 every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we get the hell out of here? See you guys soon. Peace.